Nakati ano artibilin mah, bos.
Man, I love KD. He is a hooper, scooper. KD, what is your biggest takeaway from that conversation? You're basically saying he's like compartmentalizing his emotions. He's going to go out there and do his job. But Perk, he said in this interview that he wants his legacy to be as a worker. Is that the legacy you will remember KD for?
production is out there, but the team production results in wins, and that's the only thing. But Kevin Durant will be known as, one of the greatest scorers in my eyes, the greatest scorer
Paturo ka na
ever
teacher
touched
na to.
down basketball. But Kurt, if that Brook team and they leaning on Brook, and he's the guy who's going to be the cornerstone, and he was looking to move KD at some point because he was the guy who had some leverage for you, then why can't Brook be the leader? If KD is going to be your best player, then why can't Brook be the leader? Because in Miami, we believe in leadership at all levels. It didn't just have to be one person. It could be anybody. If they were saying the right thing, then we always get on the right side of that.
And that's why when we talk about failed experiment, it's not just on Kevin Durant's shoulders, it's the entire squad. I mean, KD, he's in the 30K club when it comes to points. He's top 8 all time in scoring, yet still the Suns are on the outside looking in for the West play-in tournament. And the amount of star power truly showcases why the postseason in the NBA is so tough to make. The Suns find themselves a game and a half out from the 10th place spot where the Warriors have with 28 games to go. So, speaking of the postseason, let's line it up, Kurt. Kurt, what do you have today for your big list? Go ahead, Kurt.
What team's supposed to do?
Yeah. Yeah, wait.
Number 5.
No. It's me.
I'm here.
No. You got nothing. Because you guys are my bros. But today, you left me all alone in studio, so I am taking over. It's not Judy's list. It's not Kurt's list. It's my list. Today's big list of teams with the most to lose this season. You heard the sound. I got you, Kurt. I got you, Kurt. All right, get this. I mean business, right? I mean business. At number 5. Yeah, you heard that. Philadelphia. They better enjoy and milk all of the Super Bowl vibes because on the hardwood, things have not gone according to plan. They are at 5 because they've already lost the most amongst teams on my list. Currently
Turog na
tied for
teacher
11th
na
in the
to.
East. They have only 13
The
games
cup of
this
beer.
year where the Big Three has played. So either they win and make a run, or they might
Ha?
just let
Pag
the next year
nangaturog ako,
because
mauubos na liwat
the
ako.
pick is top 6 protected. All right, since this is my list,
Mama.
I want you to
Nakaturog na to.
give me a bam. Yes, sir. Put it up there. At 4, I've got the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors, they're coming off of hosting All-Star. They're hoping to really carry the celebrations moving forward. They made a major move. They got Jimmy Butler, which has worked so far. The Warriors are 3-1 in games he has played. But Steph is 37 next month. Jimmy is 35. Draymond turns that same age March 4th. So the timeline is aligned. But
Yeah, this is a question. Josh Hart is going to miss his second straight game with a knee injury. So, Tim, how big of a test is it for tonight's game that the Knicks have here?
Well, it's not just tonight, Malika. They have the Cavs tonight. They have the Boston Celtics in Boston Sunday afternoon, also on our air. They've got the Memphis Grizzlies next week. They've got a string of games against the league opponents, and this is a Knicks team so far.
Nangaturog na nga ni Tito Renato, mama eh.
Cavs and Celtics was absolutely demolished. The 2 times they played Boston this year was by 50 points.
Ako magkulay ni na prima, ano may tanrat ako.
Welcome back to My View. One of the newest members of our country's national security team, Tulsi Gabbard,
Ano nga
has
dapat?
taken probably the most unique path to a current role. From presidential candidate to disillusioned Democrat, and now one of our nation's staunchest defenders during President Trump's second term. She's bold and strong and won't let anything stand in her way. But I'll let her tell you herself.
May da kwarto dito, ma. May da kwarto kita ah.
Disinformation. Sasabi nila ay fake news or mas formal na word, disinformation. Thank you.
Next question, please. Do you still have questions for my defense? Yeah, Travis, please here.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Ma'am, in responding
sa sagot niya kanina regarding yung naunang statement ni dating Pangulong Duterte, si former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, um, Attorney Salvador Panelo said that it's actually the government, the Marcos administration that's the biggest spreader of fake news. And I quote yung sinabi niya kanina sa ANC. It's funny because it's a government, the huge corporation of fake news. For instance, when the police assaulted the KOJC, they were saying the police were not armed. They say there were no plans in the bypass report, which was the basis of the whole Philippine presenting to law. Your comment on that?
So si Atty. Panel yung nagsabi na big
The biggest spreader of fake news yung
spreader ng fake news. Unang-una ang usapan dito ay about the gold reserves. Bakit kailangan baguhin? Nagdadivert ba sila? Yung issue tungkol sa kay OJC, nasa korte na to. Kung meron mang kasuhan dito, sa korte ito. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung sinabi ni dating Pangulong Duterte patungkol sa gold reserves na walang anumang basihan.
Thank you, Seth. We have more questions from the PC. Paper Dia, PTV4.
Good afternoon po. Again, sa Mandawi rin po sinabi po ni former President Duterte na bumalik na po yung droga sa Davao, Cebu, and Manila. Marami na rin mga tambay ang nahold up at mga nasasaksak. May action.
Davao, including Davao City? Oh, okay. Kung Davao City pinag-uusapan natin, sino ba ang mayor ng Davao City? Hindi ba yung anak niya? Si Mayor Baste Duterte. So, ibig ba sabihin nun napaka-inefficient ng anak niya? Again, ulitin natin, nasaan ang data patungkol dito? At tandaan natin, nung panahon niya, at least ngayon may record kung may namakatay. Nung panahon niya, meron bang nare-record doon sa mga biglang nawawala ng tao? Ano naman natin yan? So, dapat din siguro, alam din niya. Pero as of now, sabi na natin, anak niya ang namumuno sa Davao City. Bakit ganun ang kanyang gusto?
Even when you are hearing
Billion
you
na
said,
mahan.
Ha?
Mahan. Tanggal man na yun.
You come out with guns blazing.
Kung nahulog ito.
Ang magiging communication stance ng Administrasyon Marcos starting today.
Asya ini?
Ganito lang po talaga.
Ano ito?
Yan lang, shit.
Ha?
Jamshid.
Oo.
Wala tayong
Asya ini hikuan?
kasagwa ng anumang
Attorney Claire?
Oh.
basta kayang maalam ang damdamin natin sa salita is because we know we are fighting for the truth.
Do you think it has come to a point that the administration needs to take this, firmer stance against fake news because it has already gone to worrisome levels?
Yes, we have to fight for that. We have to fight against fake news. Otherwise, yung mga tao na naniniwala sa kanila, maiiba ang isip nila. Maiiba ang discard nila. It is our obligation, especially tayo, mga taga-media. Dapat natin iparating sa taong bayan, ano ba ang katotohanan. Iwasan natin yung mga intriga na walang basihan. As of now, kasi puro intriga. Puro intriga ang pinapasa. Pinapasa sa
Niniyo ayun. Natuod.
at nakakasira ito sa bansa, sa ekonomiya. Hindi ko ba?
Buhay pa ko ng Pinoy.
Thank you.
Mary sa MB.
Miski pagkamatay-patay lang ko nito kayo.
So just so mas maintindihan po namin yung
Ang tawag mo. Nahubog lang ko binasa ko mga vlogger.
Si ano? Daulat Herana.
Algorithm kasi. Sa mga nilang kinitaan.
Direktiba ng palasyo.
Sila na-operate irakuan. Yes.
But I do not consider myself as spokesperson.
Simtap.
Difference press officer sa spokesperson and press briefer. Okay. May mga pagkakataon po kasi na kapag magkakaroon po kasi, magkakaroon mismo ang Pangulo ng once a month na press call. siya po talaga yung kung ano man yung kanya naisabihin, sa kanya po magagaling. Ako is more on the pag-explain, pag-expound, at kung may konting gap, doon tayo papasok.
I'm sorry, but of course, whatever you tell us in press briefings would have to have the authority of the president.
Of course, yes sir.
Any more questions? Okay. This is where we end our press meeting for this afternoon. Thank you very much, Lisa Castro.
Thank you po.
Good afternoon.
First day talaga.
All-in action yesterday. Fascinating storyline. Let's go to the chat.
Ni Vice President Sara. Pero lahat naman ng impeachment, wala ka namang numero dyan sa simula eh. Dahil kaya ka trial eh. Sabihin, may present yung ebidensya, yung complaints, no? Ikalawa ay siyempre dahil mga politiko yan, papakiramdaman yung public mo, buzz, no? Yan pa sila. Tanggap nila yung bank secrecy laws at makikita nila na may mga milyones na pumasok sa bank account ni Sara dahil sa mga drug lords, overlords. Yan ba ay kakaayin nila to put pressure on the Senate? Inuulit ko, walang ganyan nung simula ng proseso ng impeachment ni Corona, pero eventually, 2 po out of 23 ang bumot.
Saan kain kayo ng mga kagkita sa Radin eh?
Ha?
Kinanglan may ups in no?
Ano ito? Oo, apps ito. Mga Chinese na series na? Korean. Di na nga ako nagkikita kasi makuri magkita. Dati madali la, mama. Yan na makuri na. Yung nga ni Sailor Moon, nakakakita pa ako ito dati, online website para YouTube. Waray na YouTube yan na, mama. Yung mga Sailor Moon. Dati free. Yan na, makuri na magkita. Kuri na magkita mga ini? City nga, nag-ipat man yung itsura. Damo na urit ka yan na kay Moira. Mama.
Sandra, dyan. Sandra.
Tumambok.
Gasa na nga.
Mahusay nga ni. No ma? Kahusay. Nayon ako ini kan City. O pa yung mga
Busano ba siya?
apay ko niya. Kasal niya, may asawa na ma.
Kasi man itong mga kasalkuhan nila.
Ha?
Asawa.
Dapat mag-asawa na kamo ni mama.
Dere, ang kuhan niya, pamati yan niya kasingit, dere yung mga personal.
Yun na to, magkasal na kamo ni mama.
Ha?
Magkasal na kamo ni mama.
Then,
Judge, para yung mama, iya last name, imo last name.
so magkakasalahan mo.
Para may imo last name kan mama
So,
last name.
judge na magkakasalahan mo.
Ay mag-a-annulment naman, di ba?
Walay pa man.
Di ba nagkasal kaliwat dati, tito na to? Uyab la. Maiha mag-annulment.
Namatay na mag-asawa. Inaangay si Tinistandard. Inaangay.
Ang alin.
Ganto City. Busa no ba tiya generate yan sound music?
I brought some heavy hitters in here with me today. Today marks 1 month of President Trump's return to the Oval Office, and there is no denying this administration.
Ano?
Good day for a day. Bad day for a day. Makadandruff yan. Mag-new Head and Shoulders every day. So you're up to 100% dandruff-free every day. Head and Shoulders.
Pwede man ibalik mo last ng kantito na ito, ma.
The president has already signed 73 executive orders. That is more than double the number signed by Joe Biden and more than quadruple the number signed by Barack Obama over the same period. These executive orders have ended burdensome regulations,
Restoring our laws, restoring fairness, restoring economic opportunity, restoring national security. Just 1 month. Country that's ending diversity, equity, inclusion, ending unlawful racial discrimination. They're not.
Tikari ko na ako kanina. Ayan na, kunta, pero maupya. Buwas na ako. Upo.
Hindi makatakoy gid boss dati.
Aga, kutito na to. Kaya ano? Ayusin mo yung balay.
Ay nanoon. What happened?
Yung shower ha, room niyo, maupay na, pwede na kumarigo rito. Ha?
Bisa jambot nga ano sa.
Buko.
Papandaw.
Pero ha, room ni mama, diri pwede.
Pwede ka.
Mahugaw man.
Kaya nag-inuran ka.
Pero malimpyo na yan, ha?
Credit Americans with heinous acts.
Malimpyo na dati. Malimpyo na ni Ba't din. Nakato man ibilin. Malimpyo tayo.
Siya nga ni, malimpyo man dito pagka dinapo ko. Dati niya, matitili mama. No?
Mexican cartels,
Malaki
and
man
two
pinabaw.
transnational gangs, Tren de Aragua or TDA and MS-13,
Pati dandan liwat, di ba?
organizations in total, are now formally designated as foreign terrorist organizations.
Puros American man yung mga news dito na to.
Operate on US soil is now in
Delikado man kita ng mga palisiya US.
What ay Australian news?
Dito, mahilig ka ng DEI dito. Yeah, Pilipinas, di may isyo.
Mga American news dito, no?
Kabayutan din ni, akseptado na. Una din ni, akseptado ng mga kabayutan dito. Pampang, titinago.
Oh, dili pa pwede Amerika? Australia, oo. Oh, dili pa nga yung pwede yung Australia, ma?
Meron sa pwede magpunangkuhan. Hindi na kailangan mga kabayutan ng Australia. Dinihaton sa...
Damo dili ka bayot.
Oo, tapos manok man lera. Wala man ito nagkukuhan, di discriminate.
Mas grabe dito rin nato, di ba?
Oo. Ay, kami among mga classmate, high school,
Oo.
80s, 60s pa. Bayot na, wala na ito pong problema. Hindi mo lang ang problema. Mag-iiba't, ano kaya na tinuriyan natin? Mag-iiba't tinuriyan natin parte pagkaon worldwide.
Ang alin?
Yung ang ginikuha nila nga health secretary ayo isip ang TV na kung vaccine na kung yung mga fertilizer na gagamit ang health style use kaya mga kumay ito maabot na ito na di atin mga autistic, may mga cruise kasi ito mga parteng pagkaon. Kaya dito isang autistic dito, 1:30. Kaya, ano din ninyo.
Years old. I would like to eat what that person is eating. Now, a judge is ordering an extension on the temporary block of Musk's access to the government efficiency department. I guess musician Sheryl Crow would be happy with all of these roadblocks because
May taman didi.
she sold her Tesla.
May ta nagsiring mama, ano,
Protest of Elon Musk.
nag-high from St. Mary's College.
Welcome to
Ma,
the second hour of the Big Money Show.
former classmate ko St. Mary's.
To look under the hood. The White House has insisted that anyone viewing anything sensitive or classified or private has the clearance and appropriate approval to do so. A White House official says that direct access to what's called the Integrated Data Retrieval System, which includes visual access to taxpayer accounts, is needed to audit the IRS, something the IRS workers do every day to Americans. The IRS is also not immune from downsizing. AP reports they will lay off thousands of IRS workers who have been in the probation period of their employment, with cuts happening as soon as next week.
People work very hard to pay their taxes every single day. They're hurting. They see wasteful government spending.
Computer science nga yan.
We need to have spending in the sunshine.
In addition to finding fraud, Doge is discovering lost taxpayer cash. Doge helping the Department of Housing and Urban Development relocate $1.9 billion that had gone missing under Biden. That's nearly $2 billion.
Pesticide na ginagamit sa
Doge
US.
has also been digging into Social Security.
Ban sa iba ng mga nasyon, sa Europe, ban.
Ang alin na nung ban?
Mga pesticide na ginagamit pagkaroon. Kasi pahato nyo, kita regulation din ng Pilipinas.
Oo.
Yeah. So mas grabe kita. Ang mga pesticide na ginagamit.
These one-off cases, and they'll say this is broad policy. This is what an entire department.
Trump, parang ma-open na Trump maging president, ada. Damo nga, di na ayun na iya, di ba?
Jumbog luwat.
Ha?
Jumbog, hambog gani.
So this is either a smoking gun for fraud or as Elon Musk jokes, vampires could be real. Jackie? They just might be. Hillary Vaughn, thank you so much. Meantime.
Hindi na naman yan.
Right now, it's the Republicans that are taking the lead on it. And, I think arguably, our government could use a little bit of a shake-up. I don't know, you want to shake it too hard, but I would bet you 7 out of 10 people on the street like what's going on in this cost-cutting stuff. And every day it's getting more interesting because they read the crazy stories. And they say, that's my money. I have a $68,000 average salary, and I'm watching this. This is working. It's really interesting to watch it work.
In honor of Captain Lyrics, I know he's all about permitting reform. I think that me, Joe, shows a little bit step deeper. I think I love cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse, cutting the money, slashing jobs. But I think the next layer is going to have to be government working around red tape. Because we all remember, and this is from the New York Times this morning, where they say passing a law is all great, but then you have companies are involved, agencies, you're applying for permits, how do you meet regulatory standards for construction, blah, blah, blah. It could be months or years before actual building of, let's say, a home or a new factory can actually start. You guys all remember more than 2 years after Congress enacted a $5 billion EV charging stations, there's just 2, Ohio and New York, that have actually opened any. And in 3 years, only dozens have actually opened. That's well below the hundreds that they promised us. So I love Doge and the cost cutting, but I also eventually want to see how do we deal with the red tape. Keeping things safe with the permitting, but cutting the crap that takes years and years to go through to get anything done. through the Department of Transportation called the NEVI program. Only about less than $700 million was sent out to the states. Sean Duffy sent out a memo saying we're putting a stop to this, so no more money goes out, and that any approvals that the states have submitted to the Department of Transportation have is put the kibosh on, that whatever approvals you submitted, we're putting pause on them. But you will hear, for example, Senator Tim Kaine talking about this is a war on veterans, and the VA is slashing jobs. Be very careful, because the caterwauling and the shrieking, particularly by lawmakers who live in the kind of greater DC area, Charlie Hurt said this Friday, they're very concerned about those constituents losing their lunch money, so to speak, because
Tirato,
1,000 jobs.
upgraded ka na yung imo phone paghatag ko ni iPhone 11 Pro Max. Tirato. Adi, ayusin ko pa ito, pero hatag ko ito imo.
450,000 people who work there. And it is only 2% of the total probationary number of employees. This every bureaucrat is sacred is absolute hog manure. And that is how we got into this situation that we're in now.
Ha?
I actually I was thinking about that.
Pwede ko naman i-delete na. Pero ginagamit ko pa eh.
How do you make it function after you right size it?
I think it goes into the DNA of the electorate. And so they ask each party every time there's an election cycle, whether it be midterm or presidential election, what are you going to do for me on Doge? What are you going to do for me to keep cutting? What are you going to show me that you stay productive? How are you going to make it even better? Because there's always fat on the chicken. There's always fat. And you can keep cutting all the time. I think it's a productivity tool that comes into the electorate forever. It's a very cool thing that's going on here. I think the outcome of this could be Trump's biggest legacy, that he let this happen. Because whether you like him or you don't, no one's ever done this before.
And I just, to insert and be a skunk at the garden party here, say that you got to do it carefully. I think scalpel, not machete, for a lot of this is important, because if you screw it up somehow and something does go wrong, like they fired some guys at the agency that controls the nuclear stockpile. They realized, well, wait a minute, we better not do that, and they brought it back. Do it carefully so that it's successful and it doesn't screw something up that jeopardizes the agenda going.
Probationary employees, because probationary employees don't have the civil service protections at this point.
Right.
So it's probationary employees, it's last hired, first fired, which these civil service protections essentially force anybody who wants to cut the chicken fat to do. And as Jackie Heinrich pointed out, HHS let 3,600 probationary employees go last week, but 4,000 were retained in areas like science research.
That's what I'm saying. Just, get it right.
I
And
just go back to Elon Musk in the Oval Office from last week when he talked about, listen, we are going to make mistakes. We're being transparent about it. We have checks and balances internally where, the president's overseeing what they're doing and they're watching each other as well. And I appreciated that because it was honest. It was like, we're humans. We're trying to do something here. It's never been done before. We will mess up, but we'll be honest about it and we'll fix it.
Well, woo-hoo, it's been a bad day to be a bureaucrat. The IRS just fired over 6,000 employees as part of President Trump's government downsizing spree. A tearful IRS executive broke the news to staffers, but for Americans who've been drowning in red tape and audits, it's called accountability. And if you think this ends with the IRS, think again. Everything is on the table. Elon Musk says even the Federal Reserve better ready its books. Listen. Are you thinking about auditing the Federal Reserve as well, which is obviously regulatory economy? Well, Doge may also want to take a look at the Interior Department. The cafeteria, well, that hasn't opened in 5 years because the building is a ghost town.
who can complain about shrinking the government when attendance is actually optional? Well, the left actually can. Listen to Texas Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's comments on the proposed Doge dividend.
We are not in the business of giving out money, and honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
So she's all for handouts when it suits her agenda, but Jackie, it just shows how completely departed from American reality Congress people are. I mean, first of all, $5,000 is a lot of money, and it'd be a wonderful bonus. Secondly, it's our money. It's not hers to give away.
Yeah, what's amazing to me is that, people like her or Democrats. It's wicked a lot to the average family of four, for example, who under Biden would
Prescription to avoid mass hysteria if there was a financial crisis. It was the bank of last resort. It's become so much more than setting interest rates and other things that maybe the market can do better.
Oh, I think the market could do better than the Fed. I think it would be great for Elon Musk and his team to go into the Fed. Look, all they ever do when they go to these places is they ask tough questions to start, right? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What have the outcomes been? And if they find out that it's, not good decision making, then action ensues, right? If I'm Jerome Powell in this situation, what I would say is, I'd do the Pete Hegseth on. I'd say, come on in, take a look. We want your help. And, because this is a Fed that could use a little credibility, frankly. Yeah. I think Musk can help with that.
Yeah. Steve, talking about overstepping their bounds, the IRS was one of the biggest mistakes.
I'm finishing my beer.
Mistakes in creating a government bureaucracy was the creation of the IRS. It was supposed to be a collection agency. It's become so much more of that. It's so feared by the American.
One glass na lang ako to Renato.
Collection agencies. Get rid of all the deductions. Just make it a simple flat tax. Well, that's it.
You in court, President Trump just laid the smackdown on Maine's Governor Janet Mills and right to her fate. You in court, President Trump just laid the smackdown on Maine's Governor Janet Mills and right to her face for defying his executive order preventing trans athletes from competing in girls and women's sports. Why? I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Are you not going to comply with it? Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Just hours after that dust-up at the governor's meeting, the Department of Education announcing a new Title IX investigation into Maine over the boys and girls in sports issue. It could result in Maine losing $250 million in annual federal funding. It's funny, you go to a lunch luncheon with a bunch of other governors. Hey, right in the face. Well, it shouldn't have been a surprise because when Joe Biden left office, he tried to change Title IX. And he tried to add the transgender identity as being a basis for discrimination. And so a federal judge has since vacated that, and the president has issued an executive order. And this should not be a surprise to any Democrat because the country, in incredible numbers, I don't know what the stats are, but the country is against men in women's sports. Everybody knows that a transgender is at a physical advantage over girls, okay? If you're playing girls sports. So President's saying they're going to jeopardize $250 million in federal funding, and she's going to say, well, I'm following federal law and state law. Who cares what the state law said? The federal law has supremacy on this issue. Federal money, okay? And she's going to lose. And it's stupid of her, as far as I'm concerned, to say, well, with the federal law supports us. No, you're stupid. It doesn't. Jessica, Maine's a poor state. Losing $250 million over something like this just seems
Governor Mills was also talking about the anti-discrimination laws that exist and that she'll have to abide by them. And we'll see. That was my expectation that then this would happen immediately and there would be funding on the table and it'll play out. But the problem with some of these executive orders as it pertains to gender is that gender is a lot more complicated than they would have you believe. Like one of Trump's lawyers was in court with this federal judge, Judge Reyes, and said, you know, there's men and there's women. It's just about male and female. And the judge said that's actually incorrect, that there are 30 examples of people that types of intersex people. So not everyone is acceptable. It's not intersex. Well, you said it. Yeah.
It's such a rare exception, it doesn't even, it's just
Point. It's just like the transgenders trying to compete. There's like 1%. I want to know why four schools across the country so this thing made it illegal as long as the public goes, well, that's not what you would be admitting by saying, like, illegal doesn't mean. For 2,000 years have been men and women. Now we got 3, 4, 5, 30. You have to consider 30 types. The point is that you can't just make a generalized sweeping law that would exclude people who do exist. You have to make sure that there's some place for them in the non-resident women. I have never said that I thought that transgender women should play in women's sports. I'm saying that some of these executive orders on gender are more complicated than the administration thinks, and then they show up in court and they don't even know about intersex people.
Some of the other genders in here, correct?
Well, first of all, the idea of gender being fluid and not male female was a sweeping decision made by many politicians without any science. But I first want to talk about that amazing moment with the governor. With the Trump presidency, every morning is like the day after Halloween. I wake up and have a big bag of candy waiting for me, and I have to slow down because I'm going to throw up before breakfast. I can't stop. I mean, I love this, and also what that does is it forces the discussion beyond the, I hate to use the phrase again, load-bearing phrase, transphobics. Generally, what would happen is you go like, I don't like to have, men saying that their women should not be in women's sports. Well, that's transphobic. And then everybody go, ooh, better shut down. Now you go, no. You have to explain to me why. You have to tell me why that should be allowed. Then you can get into the argument, well, there's this 0.0000000% who are intersectional. Well, that's great. I would call that the tyranny of the minority. That you would change all these rules for 0.0000000 of the population. This is something the left does all the time. What about this exception? What about that? The Maine governor is a typical example of this old female progressive who puts men who say they're women above actual women. They're compassionate.
Malacanang, getting back.
A Monday. Hope y'all had a fabulous weekend. Let's look back in the building. Jimmy Lesler. Great to see you. Today's out of you. Looking down for the usual. SA.
Okay, but women's.
This is Sabrina Carpenter.
This is the one and only Paul Simon.
I sang that song with George Harrison on Saturday Night Live in 1976.
I was not born then, and neither were my parents.
I'm glad I'm getting a chance to hear it tonight.
What do you think yung parang naging iba? Stand, no? Yung sinabi ko, bold, no? Hindi ko binabawi yan. No? Gusto niya magpakita ng strength. Senate President ako, hindi niya ako pwedeng pressure. Hindi niya pwedeng utusan. Hindi niya ako pwedeng i-political judo, mga glamour na yan. Wala yan. No? Wala sa akin yan. Wala sa akin yan. No? Tingin ko yun yung kanyang message. Hindi yung kanyang conduct. Kaya siya naka-t-shirt na see-through. Chill lang ako. Parang yung press po ni Vice President Sara. Usapan sa mga staff ko, hindi ako mag-open ko. Pero kaya ako open sa akin. Si Senate President Sisteman, dami pa naman. Mas marami siyang pagkat kesa doon sa seryosong sinasabi niya eh.
Ito, Senator, ito gusto ko itanong sa'yo. Baka naman takot lang itong mga senador dito kay Sara, di ba?
Well, yes. Kahit for now, siya pa rin yung kahit bumababa siya, dramatically, siya pa rin yung pinakamataas in terms of presidential preference. No? At yung tinutulak ng administration, hindi ganun mataas. Ha? Kaya, siyempre, nag-worry yung mga fan, nag-worry yung mga senador. Teka, paano yung future namin?
sa 2028 kung lalabanan namin ito. Eh, ito, masama magaling. Hindi nakakalimot, hindi nagpapatawad, hanggang kamatayan. No? So, diyarin kami rito kung posisyon kami ng mali. No? Going to 2028. Kaya, ang pinag-uusapan na nila, ang dahilan tinatawag nila, yung kanilang political future sa 2028. No? Yung iba, kinakalculate kung midterms. Minus, no? Sa aming boto, subtraction, no? Wala bang addition yan? So, yun ang calculation nila. Kaya halos lahat sila ayaw na magsimula before the election. No?
Okay, ito naman.
So,
Ito naman, ano dapat gawin ni BBM dito? Huwag na tayo magpanggap ha.
Mama na akong beer. Isa na lakal gas.
Katulong na yan.
Ha?
Makatulong na.
Adi, asya nga ni.
Inuulat na lang. Ikaw kung maninulat.
Oh, usa pa akong beer eh. Adi pa. Mama na ako.
may mensahe na siya sa mga senador. No? Are you with me or against me? Ito na. Ito na ako. Rumanagasa na ako. Mga traidor sa West Philippine Sea.
Tayo mabanat yan.
Traidors, no? Mga drug lords. Mga mamatay tao. Mga bahas sa dugo. No? Mga magdanakaw. Mga corrupt. Mga plunder. Ganun na. No? Medyo malungkot lang dahil may isang senador wala akong narinig na sumuporta sa kanya.
Ito pa. Di ba nung nag-press ko yung kanyang mga sariling mga kandidato, discreet natin. Tayo magandang dapat yung unity.
Diba?
Ano? Yung presidente, bumabanat, tapos kayo, discreet tayo.
Oo.
Kaya tayo sila na-informate.
Diba? Oo. Pero, malino na yung message. Doon sa mga nasa Senado. Kakampi ko ba kayo? Kalaban. Diba? Superman yung majority ng Senado ay nasa majority. Supporting the president.
Diba? Diba yun? Siyempre na yun ang mensahe. Kasi parang kung yun ang mensahe, parang hindi nakakarating.
Oo. Dahil ang bawat senador ay may sariling republic. May sariling calculation, may sariling plano sa buhay. No? Secondary na lang yung bansa. Secondary na lang yung presidente. No? Secondary na lang yung mga totoo ba o hindi, yung mga articles of impeachment or articles pa tawag doon? No?
Articles of impeachment.
Oo.
Ilagay ko rin sa context sa Senator. Kumbaga, is BBM pushing all the right buttons at this time when it comes to the impeachment? Kasi ito yan no? Malaking kahihiyan talaga sa kanya to. Katagal na naman natin napapag-usapan ito. Na-impeach si Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero kung hindi yun makukonvict, yari siya.
Tama.
Oo.
Tama. Pero pa naman silang dalawa pang Damocles swords. Yung ICC, alam mo, matapos na. Kaya nagulat ako sa statement ni Soldier. Oo. Tapos, itong ano naman, itong sinisimulan ng criminal cases, na tingin ko magkakrimax siya sa isang plunder case na non-bailable. No? Hindi naman sinasabi ng mangyayari yan. Nakikita ko lang yung mga dalaw. Kaya, kahit uphill yung impeachment, na hindi naman imposible, ay meron pang iba na nakasala na swords of Damocles. No? Kaya, pero itong impeachment, kung pala, marami pong pwede mangyari yan. Dahil mukhang sa petition ni Vice President Sara, mukhang kinakabahan na. Kinakabahan na. Teka, baka matuloy. Pero pwede naman siya mag-resign. Di ba? Pwede naman siya mag-resign.
Para makatakot.
Oo, pwede naman siya mag-resign. Pero, siyempre, sila na yung kanyang narrative. Magmumukha na siyang guilty. At magmumukha siyang dadala. Dahil, di ba? Alam mo naman mga Duterte, yun ang pinakaalam nila. Yung magmumukha siyang dadala. Matapang na yung kanilang buhay. Sobra yung kanilang para
kagandahan nito mga senador.
Convene and convene. Mag-convene 19th Congress, tuloy sa 20th Congress. Dahil may election. No? Pero simulan mo na ngayon. Mahirap kasi na yung pinopropose ng Senate President Cheese na sa July pa, after the SONA, baka by that time, magsabi yung mga senador, gagawa sila ng bagong rules, ay hindi pala pwede. Hindi pala pwede. Dahil hindi kami nag-constitute ng sarili namin as a trial court ng 19th Congress, no? Ngayon pa lang namin sisimulan, baka hindi yung no? Baka i-technical nila eh.
Mauman na ako dito na tugutin nila.
Simulan mo lang ngayon, tuloy mo sa 20th Congress. Simulan mo lang ngayon. Yun yung una, no? Ikalawa ay kumbinsihin ang populasyon na ito ay si Beato, si Nova, si Ventura ay konektado sa buhay nyo. Konektado sa usapin ng korupsyon ay konektado sa serbisyo ng gobyerno. Konektado sa presyo ng bilihin. Idikit mo dyan. Idikit mo. Gawin mo people's issues kung paano sa ibang mga senador ay hindi sa people's issues. No? Yung obvious, gawin mo mas obvious. No? Lalo na ngayon, bagong communication set. No? Pinantan si Cesar Chavez. Yan dapat yung ginagawa. Ikatlo, rise the fear of the Lord. Yung political future nyo ay nakatali sa pag-convene at pag-convene. No? Nakatali dyan. Kaya, yun yung 1, 2, 3 na pwedeng gawin ng presidente. Talagang gawin niya ang kanya people's issues. Na talaga naman people's issues na hindi obvious sa ibang mga senador.
Okay.
It's about messaging. It's about perception. Yung ikatlo, right, the fear of the Lord, it's about...
Uman na, mag-brush lang ako tit.
It's about...
Brush my teeth and then go to bed.
About.
So, wala rin, senador.
Mayor Durano, pasaylo ako sir, doon na ko
Let's bring in the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Can I still... Let's bring in the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Can I still call you Pam, or do I have to call you Mr. Bondi?
You better call me Pam. We've known each other for way too long.
We certainly have. So yesterday, when you were doing CPAC, along with Senator Ted Cruz, you said that what you found at the Department of Justice was worse than you thought that it could possibly be. Let me ask you, what was worse? What surprised you? And the bigger question, can you fix it?
Well, we're going to fix it. That's the directive from Donald Trump. We will fix it. I always thought that the worst part was within the FBI, John, but it's throughout the Justice Department. It's throughout the administration. I mean, look even at what Elon Musk has been uncovering with all the different departments, USA, Treasury, everything. I've been working with all my counterparts. I mean, the fraud, the waste, the abuse. Lee Zeldin at EPA and I have been talking constantly, and we're going to have some very big news on that soon, what we're going to do to help EPA. But even within the departments, yesterday we got rid of the Jasmine team. That was the ultimate weaponization of the government. But we also, yesterday, I fired the general counsel from ATF. These people were targeting gun owners. Not going to happen under this administration. And so we're looking to hire really great people. Sitting on my desk right now are all the list of the names of the U.S. attorneys who we're going to bring in. So are we going to fix it? Absolutely. Can it take a while? Not as long as people think. Great to have you here today. I'll stick with Madam Attorney General. Great to have you here.
Mm-mm.